Tom, why don't you give the traditional Into the Abyss greeting?
Okay, hello and welcome to Into the Abyss. I'm Tom McDonough.
Kevin Lucia?
Tom's so tiny over there.
I know, right?
C.W. Breyer?
And Simon Peter Tomas.
Hi.
So,
You can let him say something.
I said hi. I'm good.
Okay.
That's enough for me.
so for Substack viewers and for the old YouTube viewers, this is our way of slowly bringing Into the Abyss back. We're trying to find our way back to regular posting at least once a month to talk about the movies that we've watched and maybe even get into longer, more full depth shows like we used to. But to start off, we watched tonight the unredoubtable classic, The New York Ripper, a
Yes,
Lucio
indeed.
Fulci film. And guys, what did you think of?
Well, first of all, the combination we watched is like having fruit salad topped with chili.
I think
Nice. I like that.
we're referring to the fact that we were watching these gruesome kills juxtaposed. That's not even a word.
Juxtaposed.
Juxtaposed. There you go, with a Donald Duck voice, and yes, that was interesting. How would you guys rate it of the other Italian horror films we've seen?
Well, first of all,
It's Italian.
It is, but it's actually shot in New York City. You don't really see that much anymore. And it was gruesome. It was nudity.
Angrily sexual. That's what it
It was
Tom
pretty
likes to
much.
say all the time.
This is not really a movie for kids.
Not really.
And if you're looking for some clear reasoning, it's Fulci. You're not going to get it.
Well, and not only that it's Fulci. This is what they call, and we're by no means experts. This is what you call a giallo. The giallo or giallo. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced.
Giallo.
Giallo. Okay.
Jell-O.
It's less of a supernatural horror film and kind of basically their version of a slasher film. I think you made the comment that they were a little short on plot, so they were just going with
a little short.
little short on plot, so they're just going with premonitions and things of that nature. Yeah, so
It wasn't short, it was non-existent.
there are some other great Italian films like The Beyond and House by the Cemetery and City of the Dead, which is actually the if I get this wrong, people are going to kill me. I think that's the Fulci trilogy. Those movies have more substance to them. This one was, again, it was basically an Italian slasher. That's what it was. Pete, did you have any comments on the New York Ripper?
To be honest, I forgot the name of the movie. You said
Okay.
it.
All right.
I think that's enough.
I read an article halfway
I
through.
mean, I will. To be honest, if this was filmed and shown today, it would have to be NC-17 because they did not skimp on the nudity or the sexuality or the foot jobs.
Also,
But
bring
the
that up.
violence was also pretty. I mean, that's the whole thing of early Italian horror: violence against women, and I'm sure there's a lot to be said.
Yeah.
misogyny.
Yeah, we do have to be honest about that one. There's very, very misogynistic in its treatment of women, and I want to do the cop out of that was just the sign of the times, but yeah, definitely that's a trigger warning. There is the blatant misogyny shown throughout the film. So yeah, New York Ripper. You look like you're going to say something there, Pete.
No, it's good.
Okay. All right. So the New York Ripper. Watch at your own risk. The best part is the killer's voice, and we won't say anything more about that.
That was the only good part.
So our other review tonight is we finally, at long last, to Tom's chagrin, finished season 2 of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Those of you who are familiar with Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, it started off with these little vignettes. And how can we describe Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? If Rod Serling
to a sober audience?
Yeah.
A bad acid
if
trip.
Rod Serling and H.P. Lovecraft and Stephen King
wait. Sesame Street in the Mountains of Madness.
Yeah, and if
you
Mr.
go.
Rogers, and if they all dropped acid at once and came up with a kids' TV show, that would be Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. The initial episodes were all very very short, like 5, 6, 7 minutes.
I actually preferred the shorter ones. I think it was more fun,
Yeah,
and the comedy was there. I feel like the longer ones, the last 6 episodes where they go to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to sit through 20 minutes of. It's kind of interesting. It's trippy, but you feel like you're waiting through 20 minutes to get to the part you actually want to get to.
right. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
Yes,
actually an interesting point. I like the longer episodes just because it built up a mythology and started getting very meta.
Mhm.
You know that they're basically the upshot is they're TV characters that are slowly realizing they're TV characters and they're not real. So yeah, it's actually a good point though. The shorter ones I think had greater impact.
They were a lot funnier too, and
Yeah, they
at least they get to the humor faster. Although I will say the longer ones, a lot of the stuff they did with it is brilliant. Like it's brilliantly shot. It's you wonder what kind of people came up with those ideas, which is a good sign of what they're for absurdist horror like that. So it's really good. It's just the last 6 episodes are very different in tone than the other parts.
Yeah. Tom, anything on Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared?
You ever notice how my two colleagues try to make it deeper than the kiddie pool at the YMCA? It's not. Now, I appreciate that the creators are making it very clear there's no deeper meaning to this. It's just we're screwing around with you. That's it.
Tom's reality check. Early on in this show, we had Tom's Hammer of Truth. Those were his reviews on movies, and he is wielding once again after all these years the Hammer of Truth.
Exactly.
So we're kind of doing impromptu. You guys read any good books lately?
Actually, you know what? I wanted to do a little review of
Sure.
a last picture show, was it? Not
Oh no, really?
by one Kevin Lucia.
Joey Leonard's last horror movie.
Joey Leonard's last horror picture show, and saw a lot of things that you definitely got some influence from us on. Everything from a horror cave to Tullamore Dew to excess drinking.
I probably
really
wrote
don't-
it as some form of therapy.
I'm not gonna make any fun of it. Kevin, you did a good job. Good job.
You didn't call this one angrily sexual.
I didn't want to get you upset. It wasn't angrily sexual.
It's kind of weird to call it that way if it's about us in your basement.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm currently reading 2 books. I'm currently in the middle of them. I'm in the middle of The Dark by James Herbert. If you're not familiar with James Herbert, he's been often called the British Stephen King, and that's about as apt as a description as I can imagine. He's got that same working man, everyday type character motif going, and it's a really good novel about this cult that all commits mass suicide to summon a tangible physical force of evil. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm also enjoying The Last House on Nameless Street right now, which is a really interesting book. You think it's talking about kidnapping. You think it's talking about post-traumatic stress disorder. It's and I'm about halfway through that one as well, and that's a mind tripper. So those are 2 books I highly recommend. Chuck, any books?
I read Edenville by Sam Rebeline, and that was a lot of fun.
I did a signing. Well, we both did a signing with him recently.
Yeah, he was with us down in Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
Basic concept is boyfriend and girlfriend. It was boyfriend. It was a couple months ago. I can't remember. Boyfriend and girlfriend go back to town, which is where the woman grew up. There's a college that's there, and the guy was having visions and wrote a book for it, and that's how he got brought into there. He's part of their academic program, and it gets very weird. It's very Lovecraftian. It's basically Lovecraft University, and there's all kinds of cosmic horror going on deep underneath. All kinds of weird stuff. It does go down some trippy lanes. I also read The Only Good Indians.
Oh, by Stephen Graham Joyce.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wait,
Jones.
Stephen Joyce Graham or Stephen Graham Joyce?
Jones.
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 There's no
Yep.
Joyce in there at all. Okay.
And
I was taking James Joyce and just shoving him in there for some reason.
yeah,
No.
it's basically 2 books in one.
These guys keep
Yeah.
going, man. They
Yeah.
go.
So first,
You're next to be thinking about.
to be honest,
I got 2.
I think I preferred the first half, which is a bit more conventional. They're dealing with some spirits there, and regrettable moment in the past. It comes back to haunt them. I don't want it would be a spoiler to give away too much on it, but let's just say it goes from that direction. Then halfway through, it takes a sharp turn into being a completely different kind of story, a broader story. But it does some interesting stuff, dealing with Native Americans on the reservation, and speaking a lot into that. I will say I felt a little heavy-handed at some points, just because I felt like it was kind of repeating some of the message that was there.
All right, okay.
Not a bad message. It was just I was like, we saw this a few times. Okay. That was I guess my only critique, but the overall ideas that were there were really good. The writing is fantastic. The characters are well done, and there's some really good, unique takes on dealing with monsters that come out of the past.
Peter, do you have any reading selections you'd like to share?
They've been falling into my lap lately, like not in any way that I could plan or like anticipated. One of the ones I enjoyed the most that I read recently was Gravity by Tess Gerritsen, which is a space-themed medical suspense novel.
Oh, wow.
Plague on the ISS.
Ooh.
Oh.
It was actually really, really good as like a page turner.
Okay.
It was extremely engaging. And it's not really the genre I normally read. I was taking your advice about like reading outside of my genre,
okay. Mm-hmm.
and it was so well done.
Nice.
I think the author Tess Gerritsen actually like went to NASA and learned about some of the stuff they do out there.
Wow.
And incorporated that into the book. I think there was a little thank you in the beginning to NASA for letting her do that.
Wow.
So I really enjoyed that, and then today I bought The Girl from Guernica, which, Guernica, like,
right.
from World War II. I don't know, it just kind of fell into my lap.
Right.
Like, I'll open the Kindle store and I'll just kind of look at stuff.
Is it historical fiction?
Yes.
Historical fiction horror?
It's I don't know how much fiction it is. It's the scary part. I think it is going to lean towards historical fiction, but it is going to have a lot of basis on that region and the bombing and
the Nazi bombing of Guernica.
Yes.
For those who don't know, it was Pablo Picasso's famous work, Guernica.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it came from. And for my colleagues, that's how you do reviews.
So I'm making up a totally new segment right now. This is the books, and now we're going to finish off with the booze. We used to do we used to do alcohol recommendations. We do have to clarify for YouTube per YouTube regulations. These recommendations are only if you're 21 and older. But so books and booze.
Okay.
Why don't you start, Chuck?
I don't have a recommendation for a booze, but I found a recipe that I can recommend. There's stuff that you can probably get wherever you are. Screwball peanut butter whiskey. We've talked about this one before. And raspberry Chambord, which I usually use for cooking, but I saw a recommendation for PBJ shots. You do a 50-50 mix of these two. What are your thoughts?
It was pretty tasty.
Yeah,
it was
it
like
was.
an alcoholic liquid PBJ sandwich.
I don't like that kind of thing. I think it was good. So,
Okay.
What, were the crust not cut off?
Uncrustable.
That's right.
It has an uncrustable quality to
That's
it.
good.
All right. So, my recommendations. First of all, I have fallen in love with a new whiskey
That
called
is-
Numbskull. It is mint chocolate, strong on the mint, nice chocolate finish. It's not only is it wonderfully affordable, $20 a bottle. It's just absolutely divine.
Wait. There's a special quality about this one. Like I want to get some for myself because it almost like eliminates alcohol flavor from your breath.
Yes.
It's
yes.
kind of like I mean, if you take mouthwash afterwards, you feel like you're covering it up. This one like negates the taste of
Mhm.
alcohol.
Absolutely.
So I almost like want to finish with a shot of that because you don't smell and taste alcohol.
Right, yeah, it just tastes minty, exactly, yeah. Now, this next one was just a whim, which is what I do a lot, and also too, it's from a smaller distillery, which I also like to do as much as I possibly can. Howl at the Maple Moonshine. This is basically maple syrup moonshine made with real New York maple syrup.
With real New Yorkers.
And-
New Yorkers.
That's a horror show.
Whoa!
What did I say wrong?
Made with real
Nothing.
New
I
Yorkers.
thought you were gonna say made with real New Yorkers.
Oh,
It's real New
It's
Yorkers.
people!
Real.
so yes, New York maple syrup and made with spring water from the Adirondack Mountains. I will say I was not expecting this taste.
Mhm.
It was really, really unique. It was a nice taste. It wasn't too sweet. That was my worry. At 60 proof, there's not too much of a whiskey burn. So I was pretty happy with this.
Tastes a lot of oak cask
Yes,
flavor.
yes,
That's
very
what
much.
it stuck out the
Very
most.
much. And the final one is Pete. Why don't you show us what you
Oh.
brought over here?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
That I did not mean to bring. Oh, I didn't know it was going to end up here.
C note tequila. What's that?
Ciote.
Ciote.
I'm gonna
Okay.
be real with you. This also fell in my lap, like everything else recently. This was just handed to me, by Maya's mom, actually.
Oh, very good.
Oh my!
Really?
Shout out to mom.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Hi, Miss Vesveri.
we don't like drink an awful lot, and I was like, hey, you want this? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's gonna sit on my
It was
fridge
pretty
top.
good. I mean, I'll pretty much try any tequila,
I
but this
didn't
was
even
pretty
have
good.
any.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I enjoyed it.
I'm not a tequila fan. I just had a little bit, and it actually wasn't too bad.
All right.
It's probably okay. In that case,
So
in that
anyway,
case, there's my review.
I can't speak for it as a tequila fan, but
Right.
as a
But as a
non-tequila,
non-tequila fan, it's
As an
okay, not bad.
individual.
All right. Anyway, hopefully this is welcome back. What we're doing is we're hoping to do a modest schedule of once a month. So anyway, welcome back. This is Into the Abyss. And what is it we always used to say, Tom?
Eat, drink, and be scary.
Eat, drink, and be scary. Have a good night.
Good night, son.
And I can edit. So the nice thing about Substack
Now you gotta swear a lot.
Those are
before